So I'm going to end today just by highlighting two library processes that I think are really relevant to this conversation of organization strategy and how to use this org chart as a management tool. This org chart and the way that I've described is something that can guide your company into the future in a structured way. What feels like chaos day to day you'll have some relief around that, and it's not going to be perfect. All this won't work out perfectly. I may not hire this person in Q4, and I might, but I'll just change this date if I don't. So be flexible, but know that it's a structure that you're moving towards. So there are two other strategic tools that I think are really useful with this organization strategy. So the first is, we call it a strategic target or a strategic plan. So it's I just went to guiding the business in the 4 key functions. It's here in this library right here in the general process library. And it's called strategic planning. I've got it in my system. I'll just move it to the top so you can see it right here. There's a couple versions of this. There's one called strategic target. So you can look at both of them and decide what you like better. So basically, this is just a process that helps you create a plan. It doesn't have to be a big, long, fancy business plan. It's not a business plan. I don't even like business plans. It's just a vision. It's your picture of the future. It's simply your picture of 2021 when you've reached the 10 million in sales. It's your sales goal, your profit goal. It's you looking at the marketing department and saying, well, if we're going to increase sales, then we need to do more social media. It's looking at the operations department and saying, well, if we're increasing sales and more sales are coming in, we need training programs. We need good recruiting and hiring. So it's just you looking at the big picture and putting it down in written format. There's a custom form in this where you can literally answer questions. So this is, what are the company's size and growth objectives? What's the geographic scope, the market served? It doesn't even have to be, this complicated. You could do a document like this one. So this is just called annual priorities. So for 2019, you can say, these are our annual priorities, things we want to do. Do this, increase sales, better customer service, better conversion rate, more social media. You just list out your priorities, what you want to get accomplished this year. And you can add more description here. And then you break it into quarters. So quarterly, Q1, if I want to increase our conversion rate to 70%, then I need to work on the sales process. Simple, clear, straightforward. So you can use something like this. We do this at Business Design Corp. It's really, we have quarterly priorities, and then if you don't hit your quarterly priorities, well, they roll from one quarter to the other. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you try to take action on each of these things. So look through this process. There's a video here. There's some work plans here on creating a strategic plan, creating a vision, and then there's documents and forms. So have some kind of written out objective, even if it's just a few paragraphs. That will help you in doing your organization chart, right? Because if you've got this vision of 2021, then the org chart is a picture of that vision. If you don't have the vision, then the org chart is less thought through. It's not. It's harder to create it. So first vision, then the org strategy. Then the second process that I want to talk about, drum roll, everyone hates this process, budgeting, right here. So I'm in running the business, and you go to the library here, general processes, and you can pull down this process called budget creation. And it's just what it says it is. It's creating a financial plan. It's creating your vision and your organization chart in number format. So when you're saying you want to get to 10 million in sales in 2020 by 2021, well, it's a numbers picture of how that's going to happen, quarter by quarter, year by year. I think budgeting gets a bit of a bad rap because oftentimes you spend a lot of time coming up with the budget, and then you just get one quarter in, you're like, this just doesn't even work. Like, it's way too detailed. We didn't hit those numbers, and then you just kind of give up. So there's some different template ideas here. These are all uploaded files. I'm just going to hit view file here and show you one. There are 1,000 different budget templates on the internet. This is just one. So this is just a worksheet. You can do, these years are wrong, but you get the idea. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Monthly budgeting is, I suppose it has a purpose, but when you're looking out 2 years into the future, just go quarterly. Don't go monthly. It's just too much detail. Then you can put in your different service or profit centers, have it calculate gross revenue, put in your variable costs. We're talking round numbers. It's not, a huge amount of detail. Fixed expenses. Now in the salaries area, when you're thinking of hiring the operations manager in Q4 2019, well, you'd plug in that salary right here. That's your future hire plan. And then you look down at the profit number and see, is that going to work? Then you look back up and say, well, what do sales need to be for that to work? So it's just a big algebra expression. And if you do round numbers, then you can see it in kind of a general way. At minimum, you'll know what you need to be in revenue in order to hire those positions in the future. And then once you have this number, what you need in revenue, you can start to think, well, what are we going to have to spend on advertising costs? Or how many leads are going to have to come in at what cost and what conversion rate to make that work? In the end, you always want to focus on this number down here. Net profit. I know these numbers don't make sense, but you get the idea. So your net profit is what the shareholders are getting. It's what the owners get. It's the number that this box cares about. So think about your net profit, because in the end, that's really the most important piece. So vision, organization strategy, financial plan, simple budget. Those 3 tools are fantastic tools to help grow and scale your business. In the upper right-hand corner of your screen, there's this button called Resource Center. This is all, through every screen in TouchStone, you're always going to see this. And if I click on it, it's going to open the help desk in a second window. So TouchStone's still open, but here's the second window. Right up here where it says Support Plus, this is a great way to get a hold of us. It says Contact Support. Training is always free. We want to give you training. We want to help you. We want to guide you in any way and every way we can. If you want help with your 4 functions list, or you want help building your organization chart, you just want to show me or somebody what your chart looks like and just talk it through, or tell me why you think everything that I said today isn't going to work for you, whatever it is, just send us a message. You probably all have my email address already because the emails to remind you of this session come from me. But you can just do here, Contact Support and send. You can say, have someone call me, I need help, and then we'll get a hold of you and set up a free training. Also, under Contact Support, there's a whole new series of TouchStone University that's starting as well. And if you just hit click to view upcoming classes, you're going to see the new series. So these are shorter training sessions. They're about a half an hour, 45 minutes at the most. These are the top 10 processes that we've identified, top 10 library processes that we think are important. So what happens in these sessions is we focus on a specific process. Like last week, we talked about recruiting and hiring. We'll show you the library processes that you can download that are related to this, how to use them, how to edit them, why they're important. And then throughout that, we're also showing kind of tips and techniques on how to use TouchStone as well. And then next topic, like next week on Tuesday, I'll be talking about customer reviews and complaints. This is a great topic. These are all things that every business needs, and you can easily download examples from the library and then literally use them. So if you're interested in any of these sessions, you just fill in the little bubble next to the date and time. And then you put in your first, last name, and hit submit. And all that happens is that will then send you a link to the meeting so you can log in and listen to the meeting.